Welcome to a new edition of the Uplift Start the Week, where we discuss subjects relevant to us women in an open and respectful manner. I am your host, Chani Schreibhand, founder and editor of the Uplift Jewish Women's Magazine. This week's guest is Rachel Greenblatt, an amateur photographist and writer, who has also been a secretary to Rebbetzin Tzipora Hella Gottlieb for many years. We will be talking about a competition we are running in the magazine, which is something that I am so excited to share with you all. Rachel, it's so nice to see you and have you with us today. And we are going to be really launching something that's been in our magazine, and we're going to talk about it today and make a proper launch, because I really feel that this is something that everybody in the winter days could get involved in. And it's called Capture.it, Ma Rabu Masecha Hashem. So what does that really entail? And let me tell you a little bit what Rachel does so that we could, she could explain it a bit more. So Rachel is an amateur photographer, and her pictures are nowhere near amateur. I'm going to share the screen so that you could see how not amateur she is. Let me just get that on. And to me, this is like, wow. And it's all about nature and the outside and winter, summer, spring. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing. So Rachel, could you give us a bit of an idea of what the Capture.it is all about?
So the capture is to open our eyes to the world around us. The Kadosh Baruch Hu has created such a phenomenal world. And, they say, don't forget to smell the flowers. And so many of us do forget to smell the flowers. We're too busy. We're too drained and distracted. And I've always found, let's say this way, I got my first camera when I was 12. It was a black and white Instamatic. In those days, it was such a wow. They had, it would shoot out with this little special cartridge. Right, remember them? Every cartridge cost a bomb, and it was only a little black and white picture. And then you'd have to wait with anticipation.
Yeah, smell. Do you remember the smell?
Yeah? Okay, but on the other hand, you didn't have to wait the 3 weeks or a month or whatever until you published, until you printed your pictures. In the old days, there was no digital. There was film, and the film would have to be sent away, and then you'd have to wait till they came, and every picture came out. You didn't have a choice of which you liked or you didn't. You got them all, all the heads and feet and up people's noses and all the stuff that people did. So that was how it used to be. And I always just enjoyed seeing things. The way I look at life now, of course, is so completely different. And over the years, my photography has expanded. Again, it's only a hobby. But what I discovered is an incredible zoom lens. And I think that's the secret to taking good pictures. Like, you take this for an example, this swan. I took it from very far away. I mean, how close could you be to a swan in a pond? So because of the zoom lens, I could shoot well enough to capture it and get the light and everything all at the same time. Now, this is very standard behavior for a swan. They do these things.
I think you get the movement.
Yeah, they flap their wings, and but it's capturing a moment, and that's what I think is really the most important thing. We miss so many moments in time, and I call them moments in time. We miss so many moments. So for me, this is a way of grabbing it, and anyone can do it. It's just a matter of opening your eyes and noticing, looking around and seeing it. And not all of us are privileged to be able to have time to go to the zoo, to go on trips, to go in, to fancy places. And so in many cases, it's just your local stuff around you. Okay, this happens to be at the Jerusalem Aquarium. Everybody has an aquarium nearby, but it really is a difference if you have a camera that can take the picture and you've made so many mistakes that you know how to capture it. I think one of the things about taking pictures is making mistakes. And maybe that's also a lesson for life. How many mistakes do we make until we get to that better place? So that's a lesson in itself.
Right. What we're doing, yeah. I think we have to explain what we're doing. So what we want from people, what do we want them to send us?
Yeah. We want them to send us anything, their kitchen kettle, their, we're not including people. I think we've all agreed on that, correct?
Yes.
So we're talking about anything that captures your mind when you're potentially just sitting in the house. Maybe the raindrops on the window, maybe the snow outside, maybe you happen to see, I don't know, footprints in the snow, some animals come past. It's not necessarily going to be big and grand as we imagine. The pictures that are around you, the tree outside your window can sometimes be the most stunning thing that you have access to, and a lot of people do. And I personally find that trees move me really deeply. And there's something about a tree of life, the constant growth, the fight to grow and move forwards up towards the sunshine. That's a message that we all need. Here you see a fabulous picture of the inner, I think they're called stamens of a flower. Forgive me, I don't remember which. But, it's that zooming that lets you realize, look what's going on inside one flower out of billions. The potential for millions more flowers like it, because each of these is a seed. And in the middle, in the black part, there are beginnings of tiny seeds.
Yeah.
Okay, right? So there's so much in there. The messages that you can get, you don't have, it could be a daisy outside in your grass. It doesn't have to be big to awaken your mind. And I personally feel that, catching it on film, just whatever, as we say now, digitally, but for catching pictures allows you to look back again and again and again and share with your friends, and everybody will say, wow. And that wow moment is what you're looking for, not necessarily because it's such a good picture. Sometimes it's just, oh, this cat came through.
I think we have to make that clear. We're not looking for the best of the best.
No,
for regular.
We're looking for a moment in time that you saw and you got.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because I feel as a magazine, there are so many moments in our life and so many uplifting times, and they don't have to be major. They could just be something really.
Not at all. I agree completely. Yeah. Some of my best.
Sitting at my desk here, I look out my window and there's a moment. Let's try.
It can be at a bus going past. It can be absolutely anything, and that is just the second that you happen to observe.
And I really hope that people will send in. We will be putting all the details below so that you could send in your photography. And we are extending the time of the competition because the magazine was a bit late this time. So we're extending it to the 28th of February. So that's much, much longer than you had in the beginning. We already started receiving entries, by the way.
Yeah, and I'd like to say something else. It could be that you have a teenager at home who's bored. The excitement of the competition can always get those teenagers moving.
Yeah.
And we want to get teenagers moving and excited. So,
we want to also say that the prize of it, people don't realize what you are going to be featured in our magazine. So, everybody who reads the magazine knows that our photography and our graphics are really beautiful. So this is just going to add to our beauty, which I'm really excited about. Let me just share some more before I ask you the next question.
Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one. My husband is a scientist, a researcher at the Weizmann Institute, which is why we lived in Rehovot for the last 26 years. And he picked up on this picture, and he had it on his big 3D screen, even though it's not a 3D picture. So whenever visitors would come and he'd have to explain some of the work that they do there, that was the picture. So that was a big plus for me, not that anyone knew it was my picture. Okay, this was taken at in Tiberias and Tiberia, right near the Kforim there of the Rambam and other people, which is an incredibly not green or butterfly style place. As there's Kforim. I happen to be sitting, and for a moment there was that butterfly. Now, you may think, oh, a butterfly, well, that's not hard, but you should know that butterflies are the hardest things to catch.
Because first of all, they
flutter. We always used to call them flutterbys when I was growing up. They don't stop moving. So it's a very quick movement. And also they sit for a second and they're gone. So to have caught this actually really was incredible. I was a bit astounded myself. Don't forget, when you take a picture, very often, if there's any movement, it blurs as well. So you may get them in the middle of the picture, but then it blurs. Sometimes blurring, by the way, is a great effect. So don't be put off by a blurred picture, because sometimes it's still got that second that you saw that there. But anyway, yes, butterflies, really hard to take pictures.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love the way you've gotten the, how it's sitting and taking out the neck. That's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah. Hold on, I'm going to see if we could share some more. The next question I want to ask you is, first of all, what do you feel? I mean, today it's so easy for us to, hold on, let me share this. And hopefully sharing this, right?
Okay, I see it. Well, okay, here's the joke, the trick picture. By the way, I'm only seeing a half of these pictures.
Okay, hold on. Do you see the whole one now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Okay, now this looks like a phenomenal picture in a fabulous field with the sun setting and some kind of amazing plants growing and the water dripping. So here's the secret. This was taken in a window box on my balcony.
Wow.
Yes, you would
and
never.
That's exactly what we're trying to show you.
This is
it.
This is it. Now, what was the secret? Happened to be it had just rained. Happened to be I did a tremendous zoom really close up. And it happened to be that the sun had, it was a sunset. I don't remember. It wasn't sunrise because I don't do mornings, but mornings are very good for pictures. And there you go, that phenomenal effect of these drips. Now,
can I ask you something?
Saying tal umata. What do we say?
It's unbelievable.
Tal umata. So those are the different types of rain. There's so many different, in Eskimo, in the language.
That's how you got the drops.
Yeah, in the Eskimo language, there are apparently 40 or 50 different words for snow. Well, that's because that's their line. But we have a number of words for rain in Hebrew and in English, and there you've got it. The dew just waiting there for the birds, for the insects. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something before it's getting to the end of the time slot, but let me ask you something. Do you always print all your pictures, or because today, of course, everything is digital?
No, absolutely not. One of the problems of digital is that you have so many, and it's only going to be 1 in 1,000 that's really a printable picture. That's and I really don't print them up in nearly enough, and but I do share the good ones with friends and family, and everybody is always very moved.
Do you have a place that you share your pictures specifically?
No. There was a time when I had an account with National Geographic, and I had some of my pictures up over there, and they closed it. Basically, nothing to do with me. They stopped doing it. They moved on to some other interest, something too big that I wasn't interested in being involved with.
Wow.
I don't have.
It's such a shame because they're so fantastic, really fabulous.
Thank you.
And okay, so I think we covered what we want. We want a picture of something, a moment that you capture. We call it Capture.it. It's a competition. The winner gets to be featured in the magazine, and I am so happy to have you on my team, Rachel. I mean, you are just phenomenal in every way, and people don't even realize, because you don't always write for us. I think write, but I know you're a very good writer.
Thank you.
But I think you're just such a support. So I really am so thankful for that.
Thank you to you. Thank you.
You've been on board since the beginning, and I'm really, really thankful.
Keep on uplifting people. I think this is what we call interactive uplift. This is actually going to let people go.
We try very hard.
You do it. You do such a job.
But, again, I hope you will enter, because this is such a great opportunity. I'd love people.
Please do join us and send some great pictures. I'm going to look. And
I think what we will do
at
the end of the competition, or even throughout the competition, is just keep on putting up the pictures that we get in, so people should see what's happening.
Nice.
So that will be on Instagram and on our site also. So hopefully we'll start doing that soon. I think we'll give that another week and a half to start really kicking in.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay. So anyway, thank you very much, Rachel. Thanks a billion for coming to see us today and explaining about the competition and sharing these beautiful pictures. And